Hey, everybody. You may not know me all that well. I'm officially the angel who spoke to Zechariah on that day. The Gospel of Luke, says that it was Gabriel, and yeah, I get it. Gabriel finished the job, but I was the one who started it. In fact, it started about 500 years before that. That's when my real career began with Zechariah the prophet, not Zechariah the priest, the guy you met earlier with the very attractive beard. This was about 500 years before Luke's gospel was written, before Jesus and John the Baptist and John the Baptist's dad, Zechariah, was around. There's actually a book in the Bible named after that Zechariah. It's on page 820 of your pew Bibles if you don't believe me. The thing is, Zechariah is, you hear about Isaiah this and Isaiah that come Advent season, am I right? It's all about Isaiah. Isaiah is known as one of the great prophets, Zechariah, minor prophet. So I guess, that makes me a minor angel. I don't mind. I really don't mind. I don't take it personally. You remember that thing that happened at Sodom and Gomorrah? 3 angels sent to Sodom and Gomorrah. They came back with 3rd-degree burns. I'm telling you, this is before, way long ago, way before CGI. So it's dangerous work, when you're in the big show. But I don't mind the minor leagues. The angels who had to inspire Isaiah and Jeremiah, they had a really bad job to do. I mean, it was terrible, the times that they lived in. You ever hear of Nebuchadnezzar and the Babylonian Empire? This dude was evil. You may think you have evil back in your day, but they compared the Babylonian armies to plagues of locusts. It was scorched earth everywhere they went. They killed everybody who was weak or sick, and they took all the strong people away in chains to work in Babylon. It was a terrible time. So here's the thing. The angels had to convince poor Isaiah and Jeremiah to preach this message of good news of God's love and peace in the midst of all this. You remember the flaming 6-winged seraph that came to inspire Isaiah? I mean, they needed this kind of special effect to get their point across and to really get this guy to do a hard job. Because you see, here's how history works. We all think that our times are different. We do. When Isaiah and Jeremiah were trying to do their work and talk about a new Messiah coming in the way of great King David, they were like, David? Who's this David? He's like hundreds of years before. Ancient history, right? Am I right? So, same thing happens for me. I'm coming to the priest Zechariah after 500 years, and people, the rabbis said that the Holy Spirit had left the people. You ask me, they just weren't listening. But my point is, you can understand why Zechariah wasn't interested in listening to me. In fact, you know what the man does? This is the times they lived in. He said, well, you're a woman. Why would I listen to the testimony of a woman? He said, young lady, I suggest you get your supervisor. So there you have it. That's how Gabriel got my job. But I had some really great images that I brought to Zechariah, the first Zechariah. I love this gig because, I got to do dreams. Now, dreams are when you get a little creative license in my business. And so when I was asked to bring a message of hope to Zechariah, I'm like, okay, I'm down with that. So I gave him this vision in the night of a red horse, beautiful horse too, really nice. And there was a messenger upon the red horse, and he gets down in this beautiful glade, this little glen of myrtle trees, and the angel says to Zechariah, I'm reading from the Bible here, he says, The angel, so Zechariah asks the angel, he says, what are these, my Lord? Because there was this, so this is the cool part. I put this herd of like red horses and chestnut horses and white horses, all beautifully arrayed behind the myrtle trees. And so Zechariah says, what are these, my Lord? And I say, well, the Lord has sent these horses to patrol the earth. And he says, so what message do they bring back? And this is where it really gets good. Talking horses, all right? So, the horses spoke this message. We have patrolled the earth, O Lord, and lo, the whole earth remains at peace. Talking horses in color proclaiming a message of peace. And did the people like it? No. You should have heard the guy with the 4 horses of the apocalypse, the 4 horses of the apocalypse. He goes, my pretty little ponies, isn't that sweet? Isn't that special? And sure enough, the people didn't listen, didn't have the glam, didn't have the drama. Why is it that the bringers of the bad news, the ones who scare the you-know-what out of everybody, they get all the good press, and I'm a footnote in the Bible? The rest of you, as your season of Advent begins, as you are awaiting once again the coming of your Messiah, I just want to say, you are the first draft of history. You someday will be someone's ancient history. But you humans, you don't believe that. No one ever sees themselves as living in a time of miracle and wonders when peace might actually break out in the world. God is at work calling us to do this kingdom building that God has invited us to do side by side since the beginning of time. So wake up. Look around you. Listen to God's message of hope for you. God is still speaking and calling you to work for justice and peace in this age and in the age to come. Thanks be to God for this good news. Amen.